There is no doubt about it that there are a large handful of actors and actresses that are quite insufferable, pushing their political agenda onto their own fans, driving them away forever, to the point that it's actually hurting the studios based on what the actors are doing and how they're representing the studios in the worst way possible. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You could also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, Robert De Niro is a very big example of what not to do as an actor by mixing politics with your acting career. It's gotten so bad to the point now that people can't even actually drive themselves to actually watch movies like Casino or Goodfellas or The Godfather Part 2. Yes, he was in that movie in the form of flashbacks, for those of you that do not remember. And people just see Robert De Niro's face in those films, and all they see is the Robert De Niro today in 2025, and how he just keeps going on these long-winded, unhinged Trump rants. Now, we know that recently there were a lot of things happening between himself, Jimmy Kimmel, and ABC executives where they were actually booed off stage behind the scenes in the midst of creating a comedic bit, if you will, by mocking Marjorie Taylor Greene, by mocking Trump, by also mocking Charlie Kirk and Charlie Kirk supporters and making jokes there, to the point that Robert De Niro went off script and ABC executives had to intervene to prevent, of course, getting in trouble and to prevent another Jimmy Kimmel situation that happened not too long ago, as you all remember. What's interesting here, though, has a lot more to do with Robert De Niro's behavior coming after all of that and exactly what's been going on between himself and the general public. Now, one thing about Robert De Niro is that, yes, we already know that he always goes on long-winded rants toward the public and says some crazy outlandish things. Now, with the entire film industry going through serious challenges after numerous actors and those representing Hollywood got way too political, one major development going on now involves more to do with Robert De Niro once again confronting the public and getting very defensive after his comedy bit was canceled behind the scenes at ABC before it actually aired with Jimmy Kimmel that mocked, like I said before, Trump, Charlie Kirk supporters and Marjorie Taylor Greene, and was scrubbed as a result of getting booed by live audience members. Now, De Niro delivered the following: I think that this country has lost their effing sense of humor. Whatever happened to comedy? Whatever happened to making people laugh and giving them a good time, while also calling out the insanity happening within this administration? Are people that thin-skinned that they can't take a joke? I think so. Getting to work with ABC has been an enjoyable opportunity, but we have been facing some serious limitations due to the MAGA crowd acting all tough and like know-it-alls about show business and how it works. I look up to comedians like Jimmy Kimmel, and I look forward to working with him many times in the future and with ABC, but we were given a hard no on what we wanted to do to make the entire country laugh about Trump's clownish administration that just, of course, that is nothing more than a funhouse at this point. It's a effing circus, and the American people supporting a president that intimidates the fine studios representing this business to stay away from comedy are effing losers as well. What happens to the media? The media who is now afraid to tell the truth because of Trump's, of course, intimidation plan. He is a bully that we expect to see in the classic movies. That's Trump, and that's who he is, and that's who he always will be. The way the American people are treating comedians on stage is also unacceptable, and I'm more than proud to be a returning guest on ABC with Jimmy Kimmel, but the limitations are beginning to seriously hinder our efforts to provide comedy to the country. Now, guys, let me say one thing about Robert De Niro here. Now, obviously, he's been a returning guest, playing, of course, comedic bits and roles on Jimmy Kimmel Live, in case you guys missed it, where he's playing, of course, specific, characters or playing himself in certain scenarios. And this is basically a part of ABC's new contract to have Robert De Niro to keep coming on as a guest or as a comedy guest for Jimmy Kimmel Live, doing these little, 4 to 5 minute bits, if you will, right? Now, the fact that Robert De Niro is getting way too bent out of shape over the fact that audience members called him out behind the scenes over at ABC when Jimmy Kimmel was actually filming his latest episode, and we already know that there's a lot of things going on right now. There's a lot of other things going on between Robert De Niro and the public. I think he's very bitter over the fact that, he's beginning to learn that nobody is actually tuning into his movies anymore, and his latest films like Tin Soldier and Alto Nights and Zero Day have all failed miserably, either at the box office or through the ratings on their streaming platforms, labeled as ratings disasters. So he continues, and this is all Trump's doing. A man who has no sense of humor. He is a clown, a gesture, who doesn't belong in the White House, a complete effing joke. Trump and his minions need to stop making the mainstream media out to be villains, or the bad guys, in his little own world. This is the same man who is now getting all bent out of shape over Marjorie Taylor Greene having a mind of her own. Comedy is dead because of Trump. There is no other way to say it at this point. It's just over until we take back the House and the Senate to prevent Trump's policies going into effect further. And I have full faith that we will at least take back one of the two to gain some common sense back in our country again, as we did under President Biden. I am asking everyone to look at themselves in the mirror to realize that they are supporting a man who takes pride in lying to the American people, who created another recession in this country. Both Trump and Kirk supporters are contributing nothing beneficial to society. So, let me just say one thing about Robert De Niro. Now, obviously you have a major uptick, again, in the number of celebrities, using the whole Marjorie Taylor Greene drama as a way to just come out again and to become more vocal again. They use any opportunity that they can to grab hold onto to really just force their political agenda onto the public. Now, say what you want to say about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Everyone has differing views on her. That's perfectly fine. And look, I totally get it. And I would love to hear about that below in the comments about her basically switching sides. I mean, there's really been a major, rift going on right now. But the fact that it's really causing a lot of actors and actresses like Jane Fonda, Robert De Niro, Tom Hanks, George Clooney to really come forward just because of that new drama, it goes to show you that they really are opportunists, alright, at this point. They're really not actors at the end of the day anymore. They're just using their acting platform to push a political message at any given moment where they have a specific event or a series of events that happen or some kind of new drama that actually emerges to kind of gain more recognition at the time. So Robert De Niro, once again, he's getting very much bitter over the fact that he believes that comedy is dead because of Trump, because of the Trump administration, and everything else in between. And I think at the same exact time, look, we all know that ABC obviously did not want to get in trouble. Robert De Niro, as we discussed just yesterday, the main reason why they shifted away from that is that he went off script. He was making these comedic jokes about Charlie Kirk and Charlie Kirk supporters. ABC wanted nothing to do with that. They wanted nothing to do with that at all, and thankfully, Jimmy Kimmel Live is not actually live. It's all pre-taped material around 4:30 p.m. Pacific time, and the majority of it is filmed throughout the hour of 5 p.m. Alright, but we know that there's a lot of things going on when it comes to Robert De Niro. He seemingly cannot take the fact that people are walking away in droves and they don't want to watch his films anymore, and his latest work is nothing more than a bunch of failures. But I would like to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments, anything ranging from De Niro to Jimmy Kimmel and more and ABC. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.